You know that feeling, right? When you're in a situation, maybe at work, in an organization, or even a family, and you feel like you're the only one who sees the problem, the only one who feels things are starting to go ethically off the rails. Well, today we're going to explore a framework for that exact scenario. What you can do when the world around you feels like it's in a state of moral collapse. And really, this is the question at the heart of it all. This isn't about becoming some hero who swoops in to fix everything. It's about something much, much harder. How do you just navigate that world when it's going sideways? How do you hold on to your own moral compass when it feels like everybody else is marching confidently in the complete wrong direction? So before we can even talk about finding our footing, we have to name what it feels like. And the first landmark is usually this profound sense of isolation. It's that dizzying, really lonely feeling of being the only person in the room who can see the cracks spreading across the walls. And then, right alongside that, comes the grief. And this isn't just about being sad for the bad things happening right now. No, it's a deeper kind of mourning for what could have been, for all the potential that was just thrown away because the system refused to look at itself and heal. And finally, there's just a bone-deep fatigue, the kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly holding back, from always resisting the massive pull to just give in and go along with it. The source material is so clear on this. This feeling isn't a sign of weakness. It's the price you pay for not letting yourself go morally numb. Okay, so with all that in mind, let's try to diagnose the problem. What do we actually mean by moral collapse? Well, the most important thing to get right from the start is what this subtitle says. It's not about you. It's about the system. Our source defines it as a structural failure. And the key word in that whole sentence is capacity. See, it's not just that the system is making mistakes, it's that it has completely lost the ability to self-correct. It's like its ethical immune system has just shut down. This is such a critical distinction. On one side, you've got an individual moral failure. One person breaks the rules inside a system that's otherwise healthy. But on the other side, you have structural collapse. And that's when doing harm becomes normalized. It's when the system itself is what's failing. And this leads us to maybe the most baffling, most confusing symptom of a system in moral collapse. It's what our source calls the great moral inversion. That's the moment everything feels like it's been flipped completely upside down. To explain this, the source brings in this piece of ancient wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. It talks about tamasic intelligence, which is basically a state where your judgment gets so clouded, so dark, that you start mistaking wrong for right or adharma for dharma, and you feel totally righteous while doing it. It's a deep, fundamental reversal of values. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, let's break this down. The system basically rewrites its own ethical code. An act of restraint, saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this, is suddenly seen as an act of hostility. Asking for accountability? Now you're just being negative. And staying silent when something's wrong, that's praised as loyalty and maturity, while the harmful behavior gets a pass as just normal or even necessary. And once that moral inversion really takes hold, the structural consequences are, well, inevitable. Feedback isn't seen as a gift to help improve anymore. It's seen as a threat. Telling the truth isn't a virtue. It becomes a serious career liability. And all the safeguards, all the things that were built to prevent this from happening, they get taken down piece by piece. The system is now on a collision course with reality, and it's cut the brake. Okay, so that's the diagnosis. It's pretty grim. So what's the solution? Well, the source is very direct about this. This is not about fixing the broken system. It's about navigating it. So this next section is like a compass. 7 principles to help you stay aligned when everything around you is off kilter. The first 2 principles demand a pretty big shift in how we think. First, alignment matters more than outcome. This means you have to let go of the need to win or to fix things. Your new goal is simply to hold on to your own inner clarity. And flowing right from that is principle 2. Refusal is a form of care. Saying no, refusing to participate, isn't an act of aggression. It's an act of compassion. You're refusing to legitimize a system that's doing harm. The next 2 principles build on this internal focus. Number 3 is clarity without persuasion. Your job is to see the truth clearly. It is not your job to make other people see it, especially when they're determined to look away. Your energy shifts from persuasion to perception. And number 4 is absolutely critical. Do not accept misplaced guilt. Collapsing systems are masters of making the people who see the problem feel like they are the problem. This principle is about refusing to carry a burden that was never yours to begin with. Next up, we have 2 principles that guide both what we do and how we feel. Principle 5. Protect the vulnerable, not the structure. When an institution starts to fail, your loyalty has to shift. It no longer belongs to the institution's image or its reputation. It belongs to the people who are being impacted by its dysfunction. And Principle 6 is about inner discipline. Keep your inner world clean. It is so tempting in these situations to just become bitter and cynical. The real challenge is to hold on to your clarity without letting it curdle into cruelty. And now for the final principle. It's maybe the most difficult one, and it gets its own slide for a reason. Number 7. Accept the cost without self-betrayal. Living this way is not easy. It will probably come at a cost, socially or professionally. The point is to accept that cost, knowing that the price of betraying yourself would have been infinitely higher. So where does all of this leave us? If we're not the heroes saving the system, then what are we? Well, this final section reframes our role entirely. The work that's left to do is quiet. It's a kind of custodianship, not of the system, but of our own conscience. This quote from the source really just says it all, doesn't it? The ultimate measure isn't about some external success. It's not about whether you fixed what was broken. It's a much more personal, internal question. Did you stay true to your own compass when it was easier and way more rewarding to just lose it? And that leaves us with this final, powerful idea to think about. When systems collapse, ethics takes refuge. It doesn't just disappear. It finds a new home. It takes refuge in the quiet choices, the conscious refusals, and the inner alignment of the people who refuse to become indistinguishable from the collapse. And that quiet work, that custodianship, that might just be the most important work there is.